Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about what single page application is and how we can build it using ReactJS with the help of React Router. In a most traditional website, when we are interacting with the website, like sending a form or clicking hyperlinks, all that stuff, our request is mostly handled by the server side. And for example, let's say if this was a traditional website and I'm clicking I'm moving, navigating from one page to the other, this request would be sent to the server side and the server will interpret my request and incorporate like the dynamic content like uh, if we were to display like dynamic content, the server will interpret my request and incorporate a page with the dynamic content, and then like the page would be created in the server side and then send it to me back, and this is called a server side rendering. But in the most recent frameworks such as react.js, the routing and the rendering is handled in the client side. For example, this is built using react.js, and to move like from one page from the other, like to send the routing, this is handled in the client side. And if I wanted to display dynamic content when I'm clicking this or navigating from one page to the other, we can send like a REST API to display like dynamic content. We use mostly REST API or GraphQL request to the server. So the connection, like the request between the server and the client, will be mostly like API form. And the content and the page is created in the content is received from the server, but the page is created in the client side. So let's see how this can be built. I have here a project which corresponds to this one. So one thing that I wanted to mention is React is it's a library like to manage UI, and it does not have the functionality, and it's mostly used like to create single page applications. So to navigate from one page to the other, React does not have that functionality, or it doesn't come with the core React library does not have this functionality. For that purpose, for this functionality, I need one more library. This is a React Router DOM. So we need this library to navigate from to manage the routing from to move from one page to the other. For that one, we need this library. I have already installed it. So let's see how the navigation is created, like this navigation. To create like the link, the hyperlink, we can use a component called link component, which comes from the React Router DOM, the third party library that we have installed. So we have here, like by using this component, we can create like a link or hyperlink. This is just like the anchor tag in HTML. So to pass the URL, the request, like the href tag, the href attribute, we can just assume this one as an href attribute, and we pass the value of the URL we want, and this one will be like the inner text that will be displayed to the user, or the hyperlink. And for the homepage, for example, I have here this one, and for the main page, I have an hyperlink, and I'm passing this URL /main. For about, for sign in /sign in, and for protected /protected. This is like how we can create a link or a hyperlink. To incorporate the link, or to incorporate the link and the UI or the component, we need one more component, which is called route component. Let's see how we use that one. Here in my app.js component, I have imported the route and the routes from React Router DOM. To incorporate to create like a corresponding UI for the link that we created, we can use this route component. For the first one, we can see here this one is wrapping the rest of the rest of the component, the rest of the route, because this is a route, like a route URL. So this one, every like other URL request start from this slash one. So that's why I'm wrapping all of them with this. And for this one to display like a default UI, we can pass from the list of route. We can use like this index. This one index display show like implies that this will be the default one when we go to like this route. For the rest, for example, when we are sending a request to slash main, this main component or main page will be provided. For about one, about us component will be provided, which I have imported here. And the sign in when a slash sign in is requested, sign in component will be provided. For this one to work, we need one more. We need to use one more component which comes with React Router DOM, which is, let's see, this I have imported here, browser router. This one synchronizes like the request and the UI. For example, here I have a UI like the URL. To like synchronize the URL and the UI, we need to use this component called browser router, and this one will help us with the HTML, like the history of HTML5, like history management. For example, here it can like push and like pop all the requests we're sending. For example, I can go back here. This is stored, like it can help us with managing like the history of our request or our URL, because of but by wrapping like our high level component using this browser router. This is how we can navigate from one component, although like from one component to another component. Although like ReactJS is used to create like a single page application. By using React Router DOM, we can be able to move or navigate from one component or one page to a different part of the site.